Ah. Oh, and I gotta move this. Psychotronic, coast to coast.
With your host, with the most.
Okay, it's all working. Alright, we're live there. I got a copy video URL and pop this sumbitch over in Twitter. Copy video user. Okay. We just watched Private Resort 1985. 85. And now we're going to talk about it on Psychotronic Coast to Coast Live. Tweet. Okay. We have one viewer. Hi, one viewer. I hope your evening is going well. We will be recording the episode very, very shortly. I just need to wet my whistle, so to speak. There we go. So you don't remember anything about the movie?
I don't know.
Fuck. I just remember characters having the worst fucking, like, intelligence scores ever. They're the dumbest people.
This was Johnny Depp's third movie.
Was it?
Well, the second one was a short, so.
That doesn't count. So this is the second movie. What was the first movie? Oh, yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But it's like, it'd be like his first major.
This is his first starring role. Like,
yeah.
leading role.
Where his name was on
it. Him and Rob Murrow are like the build two. And Emily Longstreth.
And he did a TV movie, and then he was in Platoon.
What TV movie was that?
Slow Burn.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have to watch that for this show at some point. Most TV movies qualify for Psychotronic cinema. The Boy Who Cried Werewolf, that's the one we gotta do. Blood and... what is it? It's called Blood and Lace? No, it's not that. It's called... I'm blanking on it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I've got a stack of movies that we need to do. In fact, that's right. That's for next week. Alright, so, are you ready to do this episode then?
Yes, so.
Alright, let me cue up the song. No. Alright. Here we go. 3, 2.
All the cinephiles, freaks, and weirdos, tape heads, ghouls, and ghosts, love to tune in and listen to Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Skin Slip and Owen Neal are going to reveal their thoughts on movies that most people don't dare to watch. Psychotronic. Psychotronic. Psychotronic.
and welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. I am your host with the most skin slip, and that is the host with the second most, Owen Neal. And we like to talk about movies that most people won't watch or have forgotten about or think are terrible. And we try to see if that's true or not. And
I was trying to not laugh during the theme because since I can't hear it,
you just hear my squeaking, right?
It was just the squeaking, and it reminded me of those videos of, you know, so-and-so without music. Like Elvis without music.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I could think of.
Those are fun videos.
It's a squeaky chair.
Anyway, today we watched Private Resort as part of our summer special, along with Hard Bodies?
Summer torture.
Summer torture. Was it Spring Break? No, we watched Hard Bodies, right?
Yeah.
Man, if you had gotten the 4-pack, we'd be watching Spring Break.
I saved myself by only having the 2-pack.
Yeah, I got the 4-pack.
The other two.
Oh, I'm sure my girlfriend will have fun watching these terrible fucking movies with me.
And those two are probably the good ones.
Right? Yeah, exactly. You fucked up by buying the two not great ones. Hard Body was alright. Private Resort was alright too, but, you know, nothing to write home about.
Predictable.
Predictable. Yeah, that is an understatement. Especially when we guessed a lot of the gags. Like, hey, they're going to make fun of fat people here. Hey, they're going to make a gay joke here. Hey, you know. It was
I didn't
like
see
that.
the gay joke coming though.
Well, yeah, they dropped the F-bomb. And I was like, whoa, hey. You know, I wasn't expecting that. But it was the 80s. It was way more acceptable.
Mm.
Not that it was okay, but it was just, you know, it is what it is.
We're not talking about fuck.
No, we're not. It's the F-A-G word. We're not. We don't really say.
We can get into that later. Why?
Yeah. Alright, so I guess we should just go right into it. This is Johnny Depp's second movie, by the way, as Owen so astutely pointed out during our pre-show here.
Yep.
He did Nightmare on Elm Street before this, and that was it.
And then he did a short film.
Ah, whatever.
And then he did this one. But this was like his name on the front, so.
His first starring role, essentially.
He wasn't in Nightmare on Elm Street that long, was he?
I don't remember.
He was like the boyfriend. He showed up and then he got sucked into a bed.
He gets sucked into a waterbed, yeah, and blood shoots out of it and shit. It's pretty rad. It's one of my favorite kills.
Johnny Depp.
Which one? Wait, okay. So there's a waterbed that explodes with guys with blood. Which one is the one where he gets stuck under like the plastic top of his waterbed, which is weird because it's not actually a waterbed. It's just like a water container that he sleeps on top of. And he drowns inside his bed. What was that? Which one was that? Was that 3 or 4?
I don't know.
Wasn't 2? I'm pretty sure.
It's so long. I'm pretty sure Johnny Depp gets folded up.
Yeah, and then like blood shoots out, and yeah. 4th of July weekend, so of course they're starting off fireworks now.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Yeah, that my roommate, my neighbor's shooting his gun again. Well, I don't hear screaming, so no one got shot. Good enough. No one got shot and lived. Good enough. Alright, so, yeah, let's talk about Private Resort. Starring Johnny Depp and Rob Morrow.
Starring Johnny Depp and the guy from Northern Exposure.
Yes, the guy from Northern Exposure, a show I had not seen.
I've seen bits and pieces.
I remember the intro. Yes. I remember the DVD set had like a orange vest on it, and that was pretty rad. I thought it was so cool. I kind of wanted it just for that.
Yeah, because he wears a vest a lot.
Yeah, well, he lives. It's fucking Alaska. I don't blame him.
But anyways, we're not talking about Northern Exposure.
That would be that would be for Cartoon Curious.
It's not a cartoon.
Who cares? It's your show.
Plus, I haven't done one of those in like a year. But, anyways, it starts off like every one of these stupid sex romps. Shots of girls' butts.
Yep. Girls in bikinis.
Lots. And there's a little fat kid with braces who's stealing bikini tops to look at boobies.
But only in the close-ups. In that wide shot, it wasn't actually... Nothing happened. Because he, like, pulls the girl's top off with the fishing hook in, like, the close-up.
Yeah.
And we get, you know, and it shows her boobs, of course, whatever. And then it's a wide shot. The manager, the nosy, worst manager of the fucking universe, nosiest piece of shit. But in this case, he's actually reprimanding properly this kid for doing this, but you don't see the top attached to his pole. He's just... It's like continuity here, guys. Come on.
There was a ton of those errors.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed all of them.
Someone wasn't doing their job well enough.
Yeah.
Script supervisor error. Shake my fist at you.
But we get introduced to Johnny Depp and Rob Morrow or whatever.
Yep, same.
Although it's kind of weird because the manager guy was yelling at him and said, for guests only, but they are staying at the resort, so I don't know.
He is just a piece of shit. We describe he's terrible. He's always getting in other people's business. He's being rude to his guests. He's always accusatory. He's a terrible manager. He should be fired. He assaults other employees.
He was right on all his accusations, though.
It doesn't matter. The way he was going about it was rude and improper conduct for someone of his position.
Yeah, we're introduced to them, and they're immediately trying to get some sex. They're hitting on everything that's walking around. I think that's the time where we first see the waitress, and Rob Morrow likes her, bumps into her, while Johnny Depp's trying to score with the older looking lady, who gives her... She gives him the hotel room key. So they go up there, and immediately Johnny Depp gets naked. You can see Johnny Depp's butt, if you're into that.
If you're into that, yeah. Who isn't into seeing Johnny Depp's butt? I'm confused. I mean, it is Johnny Depp's butt we're talking about.
And then he heads into the bedroom, but who comes in? The husband.
Played by... What's his fucking name? Oh my god. His name is... It's not in the back. Let's see your letterbox. It's Hector Elizondo, I think his name is. I fucked his name up. Hector Elizondo. I did say his name right. Yes. You'll recognize him from Pretty Woman, Princess Diaries, Beverly Hills Cop, obviously. 3. Leviathan, which we'll be reviewing on the show one day. I've seen this movie. I gotta mark that scene.
He shows up.
Oh, and Turbulence. And Unnecessary Roughness. 2 other movies we'll end up watching.
I don't want to watch Necessary Roughness.
But, dude.
It's too popular. I can't watch it.
Actually, we may not be able to watch it. I think it actually... Yeah, it's too popular and it did well. But Exit Eden, we end up have to watch that movie, right? Rosie O'Donnell's naked in it.
Really? I'll watch that.
That'd be an awkward thing. Like, so there was awkward moments for us during this movie. No, anyway, continue. Sorry.
So yes, he shows up. Obviously, they didn't know she was married, and why'd she give him the hotel room key? But
because loose morals.
Yeah. So Johnny Depp's naked in the other room. He thinks the friend is a barber because he hired a barber because apparently hotels have barbers.
Yeah, like hiring hotels, you could probably call a barber to your room. Yeah, I would imagine. The idea it's a private resort, so you have such things on premises, you know.
So he ends up sitting down on Johnny Depp's clothes
while he's naked in the bedroom, hiding from him.
Yeah. So he has to pretend to be a barber. But then the woman shows up, his wife, walks in, and like, why are you naked here?
In the bedroom, and while Hector and the friend Rob Morrow are in the living room, Rob Morrow's pretending to be the barber. Yeah.
And then we get our first set of hijinks.
Here it comes. You ready for it? Go ahead. Do you remember?
He badly shaves a patch in his head and covers it with a towel. And then the woman, she does get naked, so we get to see the older woman naked. Not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Not gonna rate people on their appearances. Anyway. Not my style.
She was an attractive older woman. Nothing wrong with that.
There was not a single ugly person in this Hollywood production, no.
Well, let's not get carried away now.
There's not a... okay, Hector Elizondo, I'm sorry, sir, you're not very attractive to me. But, you know, I'm sure there are people who are attracted to that kind of look. So, who am I to judge?
The bad haircut look.
That's not just the only hijinks. And then at some point, Hector Elizondo ends up in the bedroom.
Yep, and she's hiding John. I think he had his clothes on at this point.
He had
Maybe
his
not.
No, he did not. His clothes were under Hector Elizondo's butt.
I think he handed to him at that point, but he hadn't got fully dressed yet.
Maybe he has his boxers on.
Yeah.
I think he has boxers on.
Anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, he dives, instead of hiding in the closet, he climbs into the bed with her and hangs his leg out like it's her leg.
Yeah, and he tells her, honey, you need to shave. You're getting hairy.
Now, while that's happening, Rob Morrow's dealing with the actual barber who showed up to actually do the haircut and is being the rudest piece of shit while trying to force his way into the room, like, I will not leave until I've had care. And he, like, barges in. I'm like, sir, you just stepped over my fucking threshold. I'm now legally obliged to beat the fuck out of you. The fuck is wrong with you?
Barber.
Oh, God. I'm so glad that it didn't end up being Nazis. But anyway.
Yeah, he finally shoves him out. Johnny Depp rolls out of the bed. Did he still have the towel on his head at this point? Because remember, before they escape, he removes the towel and sees his terrible haircut, and he chases them, and then they run into different people.
And he catches Johnny Depp runs out. How's that happen?
And then at some point,
I don't remember how it happens, but he catches the Johnny. They all run out and hijinks ensued, and yeah.
And he complains to the manager about the barber, and then he runs into the actual barber, the manager, and then there's a whole long scene that keeps cutting back where they're in a elevator ripping each other's clothes off.
Because it's like they're disrespecting each other by tearing each other's uniforms. It's just like
they look like twins.
It was bad.
Two bald guys with like mustaches. Although the German guy didn't have a mustache. They didn't go that far.
Well, and I think he was wearing World War I garb actually. It wasn't Nazi era garb.
That was later though.
Yeah. No, so I think it's supposed to be farther back. You know. It was 30 years ago, so. Yeah.
So after all that wackiness, and the guy did remember, whatever, Hector, he had a gun on him. Remember, he wasn't waving at this point,
we'll call
but
him
he's still
Thief, because I don't remember his character's name.
Yeah, he's a jewel thief. He's trying to steal an old lady's jewel.
That's a running gag.
But yeah, so after all that, almost being beat up, they're on the prowl again. This might be where he first runs into the waitress.
It is.
Like literally runs into her.
I had to step away at this point. I'm pretty sure. As soon as he bumped into her, I think I had to step away.
Yeah, he runs into her, knocks all her drinks down.
So I remember seeing her, and then I was like, I gotta go, because you know.
He's kind of looking over his shoulder, like, am I still being chased? So yeah, he runs into her. Kind of, they share some smiles and some looks.
It's called a meet cute, by the way. Anyway.
The douchebag. I don't know what he's supposed to be. Security guard? A bartender?
He's just the manager, I think, at the bar.
He like pulls her away. It's like, say you're sorry to him.
Stay away from that guy. He's trouble.
And then immediately hits on her.
Yeah, he's a real sleazy piece of shit.
And there was a scene, I'm not sure where it was, where Johnny Depp's checking out a girl and asks the heavy friend if he can get with her, and tries to pull her out of the pool. And then the manager, this must be beforehand, because the manager comes over to help and gets yanked into the water.
Oh, I missed that. I was definitely not. I was not here to complain about the fat joke, because I would have complained loudly about the fat joke. Anyway.
It wasn't really necessarily a joke at her. I mean, although they couldn't pull her out of the pool, I guess that was
joke.
Defective.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Now it's not funny because it's like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, why wouldn't you just go over the shallow end and walk out?
I know, right? That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of these movies is they can be solved with basic. Just take a second and think. You accidentally walk into somebody while you're naked. You go, someone stole my clothes. How hard would that be? And someone immediately goes, okay, let me help you get back to your room. See how there was no hijinks had. Nobody was in trouble. Your embarrassment levels were minimal. Nobody accidentally got caught trying to fuck anybody. And you didn't try to get shot by a fucking jewel thief. Like, wow. Gee.
It should be called
the movie would have been boring then.
Snap Judgment, the movie.
Snap Judgment. Bad Snap Judgment's the movie.
Just constantly.
Oh my god.
So
it's like, imagine the worst possible choice you can make in a situation. That's the choice the person makes. Almost always.
Yeah. For hilarity purposes.
Humor.
Supposedly.
People are like, why don't they make movies like this anymore? Because we're smarter people. We're not entertained by this bullshit anymore. Anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna assume we're at the point where he sees the girl that he likes. He pays a guy that works there to find out how to get with her. Because apparently he knows. So he pretends he's a doctor to get the old lady to be like, hey, you should date my granddaughter.
By the way, it totally works. Fucking aces. I'm like, shit, man. Nice. The grandmother asks her to go out with him. It's like perfect. It's like, bam. I mean, he had a lie to get there, but you know.
The grandmother says, you need to take your cousin or whoever it is.
Sheila?
So it's a double date.
Cousin
And
Shelly?
at the same point,
yeah, that's right.
And at the same point, the other guy runs into the waitress again and actually talks her into going out after she's done work.
We had a running bet that the premise is either going to be fat for humorous purposes or ugly for humorous purposes. It was neither of those cases. She's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
But he kind of hinted at that. He didn't think she was that attractive either.
Well, he's just a shithead. We all know better.
Although he did want to have sex with her.
There's very few ugly people in this movie.
Later.
All right? Very few ugly people in this film.
She wasn't ugly. She was just,
I know. That's my point.
I mean, I guess...
She was very attractive. I don't know what the fuck their problem was. I'm like, really?
It was. I guess it was more that she was weird because she was wearing like.
Yeah.
She follows like a Dalai Lama type thing.
Yeah, it's like some weird Hindu style.
Yeah.
Mockery type humor like thing. So it's like it's you know, it's racist humor. You know, typical '80s thing. Insensitive cultural humor. It's what you expect, of course.
I don't know, like, he agreed to go, but then he's like, he seemed to want to have sex with her, even though he has a date lined up later for the girl he likes, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude. He's not with the other girl yet. He's just interested in going on a date with her.
Then there was that awkward scene where she doesn't want to go, the cousin doesn't want to go, so Johnny Depp's going to take his girl out, and then he keeps shoving the friend into the room, and you're just like... You were like, why doesn't he just wait till Johnny Depp leaves, and then he just leaves?
Right, that's the thing. He's like, keeps trying to leave. Johnny Depp's like, no, you gotta stay here, you gotta stay here. Johnny Depp leaves, and then you're like, well, now you can leave. There's no one to stop you.
But he stays. He worships a picture with her, and then she gets naked, so he gets naked, and then he tries to grab her. And apparently Johnny Depp gave him drugs to drug her with.
Yeah, I guess like Quaaludes or something. I don't know.
That's what they say, but then the old lady takes them and just gets really annoying.
She instead has MDMA or ecstasy instead. I think she's on. It was like, so she takes what are supposedly Quaaludes, but ends up being ecstasy. Am I missing something here?
No, because he runs to the door where Johnny Depp is and bangs on it, and he's just like, "She liked those Quaaludes." Like he says Quaaludes.
Right, I know. I'm not missing anything, right? But she's totally acting like she's on ecstasy. She's like all like. Everything's like feels great to her. She wants to fuck everyone. Like, I mean, you know, everything feels great, and she's happy. She's elated, and yeah, like, I'm like, I'm pretty sure. If I remember correctly, Quaaludes, like, that's the date rape drug. You turn into you pass out basically, like exact opposite thing. Only one person's having fun versus everyone is having fun. You see, one's an actual fun drug.
And during all that wackiness, the old lady, before taking the drugs, is at like a bar, and then the jewel thief shows up pretending to be a Russian cowboy.
I guess he's Russian. It was some terrible fucking accent that was not placeable. Hector Elizondo doing his damnedest to be a foreigner.
Yeah, he dances with her, unhooks the necklace, which I don't think he was supposed to unhook it, because at one point it's totally unhooked, and then next shot she pushes him away and it doesn't fall off. So
yeah, it's kind of weird.
And then his hat falls off, and then she's disgusted by his badly shaved head.
His reverse mohawk.
Yeah. Although, remember the punk dude that shows up a lot?
Yeah.
Cool head, dude. Brah.
That guy who was like
30,
35 years old, trying to be like a teenager punker. It's ridiculous.
He also showed up when the guys were ripping their clothes off because he had a ripped shirt, and he's like, yeah.
And that's not a knock on 30-year-old punks. That's a knock on a 30-year-old punk actor pretending to be a 19-year-old punk. That's the problem. It's not that there's a problem with old punks.
He's a running joke.
He's a gag. It's humorous. It's wacky hijinks.
Whenever something dumb happens, he'll show up and be like, cool, bruh.
It's supposed to be funny.
Yeah, so she ends up with a headache, goes home, thinks those are aspirin, pops them all, goes out and rapes the German barber in a bush.
Who went to his car because his outfit was all fucked up and got his what I presume was a World War I military outfit on. Maybe it's Korean War era. Maybe he
just likes to wear a nice suit when he drives his nice car.
It's like an olive green, or like a olive brown. Like it's kind of weird, brownish greenish color.
Suit and a hat.
And then yeah, she comes and like drags him to the bushes and forces him.
He also had a riding crop for some reason.
Yeah, I've got nothing. Got nothing for the. I had no idea of the riding crop. Maybe it's supposed to be sort of like a "Go here, men!" Type thing, you know. Or maybe it's for the horse that he rode in World War I, when they still had horses in war.
Maybe.
Just a thought.
He's dragged in the bushes and raped and murdered, I think.
he's at least
raped.
At least raped by the old lady. Yeah, that's awkward. It's really awkward. But that's basically what happens because he's not.
80s comedy, man.
It's wacky because it's funny because it's a woman doing it to a man, right? No, it's still not funny. It's really a not funny joke that they think it's played for laughs, and we were just like, okay.
So I'm gonna assume. So the friend ends up back with Johnny Depp. He's making out with his girl. I have to assume they had sex. I don't know. He wouldn't let him in the room, so I assume he banged her, and they were just making out afterwards. But he misses his date. She rides home with the asshole coworker who says it's their first date. She's like, it's just a ride. And he's like, we're gonna see where it goes. Huck yuck. Maybe she got raped too. I don't know. She didn't seem like it, so I'm gonna assume not.
No, I
assume it was just a ride home.
Jesus.
With this movie, you don't know. I think everyone was being raped in this movie.
Oh, God. Let's get back on track.
So he's all bummed, and then cut to. Is this where Andrew Dice Clay shows up?
Yes, Andrew Dice Clay and his wife are at the bar.
They're fighting. She wanders off drunk. Basically says first guy shows up she's gonna have sex with. So of course Johnny Depp goes for it.
Yeah, he really does.
And he wants his friend to make sure he doesn't go back to his room, because Andrew Dice Clay is a piece of shit, and he's gonna bang some other girl. So he
talks to Rob Morrow. He talks to Rob Morrow to help him out. Some guy he just fucking met.
Yeah.
To help cheat on his wife.
Take her to my room, because Johnny Depp says don't let him go to his room. But Andrew Dice Clay's woman says, no, we can't go to my room. We got to go to your room. So they all end up in a room together.
They all end up in Johnny Depp and Rob Morrow's room, specifically.
The other girl, I'm going to say she's drunk. She wasn't quaalude by Johnny Depp. She was really drunk. That was an empty bottle of Jack Daniels sitting next to her. I think it was implied that she was just really drunk. So there's a bunch of wackiness of them trying to get her out of the room before the husband sees it, so they don't get beat up. And they're carrying her passed out body around, and And he keeps coming out of the room asking for
They
stuff.
keep dropping her behind.
dropping her.
Keep dropping her behind the couch. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's bad. You know.
And then they bring him, introduce Clay into their room to give him a cigarette after having what, a minute of sex?
Yeah, he was gone for like 3 minutes top, 2 minutes tops. Tops. They were arguing for a minute. They went to pick her up, and they go to move her, and he comes back out like a second. Like, what the hell?
And that was enough time for the drunk girl to wake up and wander into the bedroom with the other girl. Andrew Dice Kelly walks in. Some yelling and fighting ensues. Nosy manager pops his head in.
Yeah, fuck. Fuck
You
that
hear
guy.
some screaming. Andrew Dice Kelly like, you bastards, you damn fuckers set me up.
Then he goes to punch him, and Rob ducks and and the manager gets punched instead. Like, yes, bastard deserves it. They all deserved it. Andrew Dice Clay and his wife were bad people to each other, and they deserve to have that happen to them. Like, everyone who like his bad things happen to them, like, deserved it in some way, except for Johnny Depp, who gets to do all these terrible things to lots of terrible people and get away with it.
He's basically Drake from Drake and Josh.
He is essentially the example of white privilege in this film.
I wonder how many people get the Drake and Josh reference.
Yeah, it went over my head.
It was the Nick show where Drake would go around and make out with 100 different girls. Nothing bad would ever happen.
Never watched that show.
People know.
That was after my time, I think, man. Last Nick show I remember watching was Secret World of Alex Mack, dude.
That guy's dead, isn't he?
Alex Mack's a girl.
No. Didn't someone from that show kill themselves?
I don't know.
But anyways.
That's neither here nor there, I think. We have gotten sidetracked, my friend. Let's get back
I like liking what happens now.
They run out past the security, past the guy. They end up...
Do they end up almost running into the jewel thief? And then they outside, and then the guy runs into the girl again. And
yes. That sounds about right.
She's just like, I saw you leave with that guy. Whatever. I like you. Let's try this date again. And then that guy comes over and grabs her, and he pushes him and gets the shit beat out of him, right?
Yeah, he gets punched. Wait, no.
Was that later?
I think there's something that happens between those two events.
It's not important.
It's clearly not, because we can't remember it.
Well, at some point the guy does steal the jewel from the woman after.
I think that's what happens here.
The German guy. She beats the shit out of him with some kung fu first, and then he pulls a gun out.
I think it's supposed to be yoga or tai chi. Yeah, it wasn't kung fu though. Come on, let's be honest here. I think it was...
I mean, if they could have afforded it, they probably would have played kung fu fighting during that scene.
Ugh. You're probably right about that. Ugh.
Anyways, he ends up with the jewel. Success. I'm gonna assume that's when the guy gets beat up, and then you cut to he's back in the room. There's then there's a montage of them on a date, running around, making out. Oh, they're in love, like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And then he's back in the room with Johnny Depp, who's with the girl again, the same one from the old lady. Not the old lady, but the old lady's granddaughter. So apparently he's still with her. And then the waitress comes in, and here's that food you order. I didn't order food. That other girl comes out. I ordered it. And immediately, snap judgment. You're cheating on me. You're a piece of crap. She runs away crying.
Yeah, like, literally, snap judgment. Like, what?
So he runs out to get her. And then he runs into the jewel thief, right?
I think so.
And he
yes.
chases. Is this the whole big, long chase scene now?
Yes. And he hides in the whatchamacallit.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a runway show where he hides and gets like dressed like an old lady to like sneak out. Not an old lady.
Is he naked again?
Yeah, there was a part where he's naked again at some point too. We're missing a bit. There's a big chunk of it we're like totally like missing.
Because I'm pretty sure he's naked under the cart and it's pushed in there.
Yes, I don't
And
know why
comes
he's
out.
naked.
And he ends up in the tub, and the jewel thief grabs his dick.
Yeah, there's a whole section before that we're missing, I think.
Shit. I can't remember.
It's that forgettable. I don't know.
Because at some point he makes up with the girl. At the end, oh yeah. So, anyways, let's get to the chase scene.
Yes.
He's chasing him. He's running away. He runs into the manager. Now the manager and the jewel thief are chasing him. He gets into the fashion show, dresses as a woman. Immediately, the guy's just like, "You're the woman of my dreams," even though his woman is waiting in a cab for him outside.
Right. And by the way,
He
he's fallen in
starts-
love with this person. He's barely, and he's like hitting on her and like groping her.
And you can
Him.
constantly see the guy's hairy chest.
Yeah. Big hairy
He's
chest.
even
Like what the
He even
fuck?
rubs on the hairy chest with he's like, "You can have this diamond," which he drops down her or his cleavage.
I'll have to get that later. Like that's so rude. And now you.
Andrew Dice Clay shows up, also immediately starts groping. He pulls a gun out, tells him to leave.
They touch hands, touching his butt, by the way. Because they both.
So now he has.
By the way, both these men force themselves on this quote-unquote woman, because it's actually a guy dressed as a woman, and grab her ass while she's trapped in an elevator. Both pieces of shits, sleaze bags.
Yeah.
And then they touch hands, and that's when he actually pulls out the gun on her, and like chases Andrew Dice Clay off.
So now they're shooting at him and all this good stuff. The manager's in on it. He also has a gun. I don't know why. He gets clobbered quite a bit. He gets run over. And then at some point, which I must have blinked and missed, Johnny Depp is running with him. Just shows up.
I think he just runs into him in the hallway. And, you know, he's got to run now because Hector recognizes him, too. He's like, oh, crap.
Yep.
Oh, and then they get to the restaurant, and out of nowhere, out of
The
fucking...
bathroom first.
Oh, yeah, they're running in the bathroom. That's
I
right.
see some new girls. There was also a running joke where this one girl kept slapping the manager because he kept accidentally taking her top off or some shit.
Yeah.
But
Something
she's
like that.
there fully naked, slaps him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they end up in a restaurant, and he
Out
runs
of-
out
out
of
of-
bullets.
I
with
was
his
like,
pistol.
out of fucking nowhere, Hector Elizondo pulled out a assault rifle from his pants. No joke. Just out of nowhere. He's been running around the hotel with this shoved down his pants, apparently. Not
Yes.
noticeably, by the way. No weird angles jutting from his pants. Just out of the blue. And then he starts shooting up the place. Like, oh, Christ.
And there's a lot of Home Alone-esque gags of them falling in. Now they're covered with potatoes and paint, and it's wacky.
It's just... Man.
And he's still trying to explain what happened because the waitress girl's there, which is funny because the restaurant's empty at this point because there's gunfire, and she's walking around with a tray, like she didn't know anything was fucking.
Like, you hear
going
the
on.
gunshots in the next room over. God.
He gets, Rob gets shot at, falls down. She runs over there. He's like, "I love you. I love you too," because they went on one date one day at the beach.
I don't think she said I
Good
love you
love.
too. I think she just smiled at him.
Yeah, whatever. You knew what was happening.
Yes. But I'm just saying.
Some cops run in, and they're like, "Those guys stole Jewel," and they believe him. But the old lady shows up. It's like, "No, that guy stole Jewel." Does some more kung fu on him. I'm gonna keep calling it kung fu.
Yeah, it's granny food
And,
of some sort.
hurts
It's
his-
terrible,
hurts his
offensive.
back.
It's terrible and offensive, by the way.
Hurts his back, and then the punk dude shows in. He's like, "Cool moves, brah."
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even look like he's being arrested. He's pulled out on a cart.
On a
His
gurney.
legs are sticking in the air.
Legs are stuck in the air,
This is-
yeah. Well, if he's
this-
injured, they're going to take him to the hospital, but he would be handcuffed to the gurney, right? Like, that's how they would work it. And then they would get to the hospital, and he would stay handcuffed until he was well enough to leave, and they would take him away to jail or wherever.
His wife gets out of the cab, makes some joke about the meter running. Nobody cares. And then in the end, we see Johnny Depp is with the granddaughter. Apparently, he's sticking with it. He's changed his ways, even though he tried to bang some drunk girl the night after they went out.
And he's lied about his past to get with her to begin with, so he's got to deal with that in the sequel, I assume.
Rob is with the waitress, and the old lady is with the punk guy out of nowhere, and now her hair's spiked and got color in it.
Yep, drugs, man. Oh, and the weird cousin hooks up with a bodybuilder.
Wow.
Apparently, she
So
wanted.
she's
She wasn't
doing the
weird.
same
She just
thing.
wanted a big dick. Apparently, that's the joke.
She did the same thing. You gotta shed your outer skin.
The guy
show
gets
a
naked.
surprise face.
Yeah.
Covers his dick. The old lady's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm meditating. And apparently squeezing his dick really hard.
Grabs his dick. She grabs his dick, and then someone says something. She turns and he's like, "I'm meditating," and that she's so angry she squeezes the guy's dick until he screams.
Clean off. Blood everywhere.
Yeah, and then
That would have been a shock ending.
the movie ends with her cradling the guy as he bleeds out to death. No, that didn't happen. But Jesus Christ. Fuck.
Also, she's supposed to be naked, and you can see she's got a tube top on.
Yeah,
Even though
apparently.
earlier we saw her topless.
Apparently, she didn't want to be topless outside. I don't know. Maybe it
Not
was
in front of
maybe
that
it was only
guy.
one time in her contract.
But yeah, the old lady loved them drugs so much that the punk's gonna supply her with them. And they're gonna date. Even though this is the first time we saw them together.
So, yeah. What did you think of the film?
Date rape the movie.
It was
don't
awkward,
know.
yeah.
I don't think I laughed once.
I laughed at how bad it was, but it was never like laughed because it was funny, right? I laughed because I'm like, oh, of course they would do something so cliche.
It's what you expect.
I don't know if
You're
it
gonna
would, but
see-
would it have been what we expected in 1985, or is it what we expect now because we've seen so many of them?
There's just so probably now, like if you hear like 80s sex comedy romp, there's usually some type of plot that doesn't really matter. This one was a jewel thief, and then there's gonna be constant nudity whenever they can stick it in there. Just like it was everywhere. Just there's a
Questionable
girl in the
moral
hallway.
choices.
Her top's off. Oh, they're gonna run into a locker
Right,
room
but
where
I'm
all
saying,
the
like,
girls are naked.
would it have been by the numbers back then, or would it have been
I'd say yes.
more fresh? That's the question.
Was it 85?
85, yeah.
There's been 5 years of the same type of movie before.
Fair enough. All right, yeah. Just something to consider. I thought it was okay.
Hey, this one has Johnny Depp in it.
It gets 2 out of 5 stars for not being the worst thing I've seen on the show.
2 out of 5 for Johnny Depp's butt. We
Mildly-
also see Rob Morrow's butt too.
Mildly
So-
entertaining. There was plenty of nudity. If that's what you're here for.
That's you know.
And
this is
Hector
a-
Elizondo is amazing. He's a great character actor. So I mean, it's worth watching at least once for that. You know, for his portrayal of an annoying, angry, racist caricature.
racist.
Well, I'm guessing racist from his terrible accent. Talking about the terrible accent when he was pretending to be Russian.
Yeah,
or
which he
Bulgarian or
dropped
whatever.
because the old lady can't hear worse shit. Remember?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's a joke. That only it dies after that scene. By the way, she never has a problem hearing ever again.
We gotta point out the most offensive scene though.
Also,
In the
he's doing this.
restaurant.
He's doing this foreign accent, right, while wearing a cowboy hat. What? So confused by that.
That was covering up his bad hair.
I know, but you could just choose any other hat or a different accent, maybe.
I guess his idea was like he had a whole backstory. Like I'm Russian, but I'm obsessed with Texas and oil fields.
Okay. Right.
So I have to wear the cowboy hat. Like I'm a Russian via Texas.
Nah.
You know, he's probably writing this like, oh, that's good, that's good.
And everyone else is like,
He's-
you're just a weirdo, dude.
But we didn't even talk about the scene where they're in the restaurant and we see this heavy girl eating chicken.
Oh yeah, the fucking
we call out
shootout
the
starts
joke.
happening, and like and there's a shot, just a random shot, right before Hector pulls out the goddamn gun of a heavy lady eating chicken. Hector starts shooting up the place. Everyone's trying to recover, and what is she doing? Eating food off her neighbor's plate since it's been abandoned.
And it cuts to it like 4 times.
Yeah.
Just eating off every plate she can reach.
Oh, haha, it's funny. She's fat. Ha ha.
Terrible.
Look, I don't have a problem making fun of people if it's fucking funny. Not stupid.
I laugh at Chris Farley falling down a hill.
Chris Farley falling down is the funniest shit because Chris Farley understood comedy. If it was Chris Farley, the gun goes off and Chris Farley's falling down the stairs, I would have laughed. I would have died laughing because Chris Farley could. Because, look, that's fucking funny. A fat person just eating is not funny. That's just offensive.
What if it was Chris Farley doing the same thing, though? Is it funny?
Well, yes, because that's the way he would have done it. He would have taken the whole plate and, like, smashed it in his face or some stupid shit. Or dove on the table and broke the table so he could eat while diving. Or he would have dove under the table and grabbed food or something. Like, at least he would have done something like, well, I wouldn't just sit here. I'd be under the table, grabbing food from above and eating. Like, that would have been funny. If they're hiding under the table, reaching up blindly, grabbing whatever food they could. Like, that would be way funnier than them sitting there eating while crap's going on around them. You know, like, that's not funny.
See, I guess the question is, would it have been funny if a skinny person was doing it?
No.
No.
But
So
it
therefore
would have
it's
been
not
funny
funny.
if a skinny person had reached up and grabbed a plate and pulled it under because they wanted to continue eating while hiding. That would have been humorous. Because I could see myself doing that. I'm like, I really want those mozzarella sticks right now. Fuck.
I fucking paid for that.
I paid for this shit. I'm eating this shit. Alright? Anyway. Yeah. What'd you give the movie? What'd you rate it?
1 Johnny Depp.
Wow. I give it 2 bare male asses out of 5.
Was there only 2?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just gave it 2 out of 5 stars, basically.
No, we didn't see that buff guy's ass, did we?
Nope. We saw a side thigh, though. Like,
We saw Johnny Depp and Rob Morrow's butt. And everyone else, you probably wouldn't want to see their butts.
did we see? Oh, we saw one lady shove her bikini up her butt when the hotel manager was harassing her about her attire at a fucking resort with a goddamn pool, and he's getting angry at her for wearing a swimsuit. Like, what?
This is a public area. You're not allowed to wear that swimsuit.
Shut the fuck
Dress
up.
code.
Get the fuck out of my face.
We didn't even get to see Andrew Dice Clay's butt.
I'm disappointed in that. I bet he has a
He wore
great
it.
looking ass that hair. Dude, he had a great body at that point in time because he was like young and
hair
fair.
is shit though.
Oh, dude. Imagine
That
the
dude
hair
has-
coming out of that crack, though. Jesus. What do you got in
I-
now the question is, would Andrew Dice Clay have gotten a Brazilian for this movie?
I thought he was wearing a shirt. How hairy
oh yeah.
His-
Well, you know.
his boxes were pulled up over his belly button.
Well, you know. I don't know why people do that.
I don't know. There was
Yep.
also a running thing with him. Remember when we went to shake his hands? He would just slap them with their own hands. And
Yeah.
like Three Stooge for a while, just slapping each other.
That was actually genuinely humorous. When they
I
started
like you guys.
when they started slapping each other, that was the humorous part. You
I'm
know?
gonna go have sloppy sex in your bed. Enjoy.
I was like, wow, fuck this guy for like slapping me with my own hand. But then like the whole like they started slapping each other. I was like, okay, that's kind of humorous. All right, that's the one part I was like, okay, genuine laughing at the humor happening. But I bet you Andrew Dice Clay came with that shit.
You needed more Andrew Dice Clay.
Need more Andrew Dice Clay. We should do Ford Fairlane at some point, or
Just-
Brain Smasher: A Love Story. We need to do that. That's one of my favorites. Have you ever seen Brain Smasher: A Love Story?
No.
Oh my god, we gotta see
Is
that.
that the guy with the tattoo on his face?
No.
Or am I thinking of something
I
else?
think it's something else. It's Andrew Dice Clay as a bouncer called Brain Smasher, fighting ninjas. in
No,
Seattle.
I'm definitely thinking of something else. I'm thinking of like a horror movie.
Yeah, no, dude, it's like Andrew Dice Clay's best film, in my opinion. It's on VHS only.
Don't watch this garbage.
But do buy this 4-pack, for $8. You'll get $2.
I wouldn't do that
You'll
either.
get $2 worth of movie out of at least 4 movies easily.
Save your $8.
I bet you got the bad ones. I bet you Spring Break and Perfect are the good ones. Jamie Lee Curtis is in Perfect, man, and John Travolta.
Man. Does she get naked?
No, I think that's in fuck, what is that movie? Eddie Murphy.
She's the one with Kurt Russell. She gets naked.
With Eddie Murphy, what was that movie? Something with money.
Trading Places.
Trading Places?
Money. I don't know.
Maybe it's Trading Places.
They switch. Rich guy, poor guy.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those two. It's an Eddie Murphy comedy or dramedy or whatever. And I don't know if that's her famous scene, but yeah, no.
She gets topless in
she's
one with
an
Kurt
aerobics
Russell
she's an aerobics instructor in this. So
about race car driving.
Driven?
No, it's Kurt Russell and Jamie Lee Curtis.
They were in a movie about race car driving.
I think she raced at like a small dirt track.
What?
Yeah,
you gotta find this fucking movie.
She gets naked in it quite a bit.
No, I don't care about that. Like Kurt Russell in racing? What? No, I gotta find this movie. That sounds Kurt Russell in racing cars. Like that's everything I've ever wanted, man.
I'll look it up right now.
Like holy crap! I don't care about the nude scene. I want to see Kurt Russell in racing cars, dude. Like fuck that shit.
I don't know if Kurt Russell races.
Does Kurt Russell get naked in it?
I don't remember. Maybe
Damn
his
it.
butt.
Because that's definitely a selling point then. Anyway, next week we're watching Andy Sidaris' classic film Hard Ticket to Hawaii. The second in his Girls, Guns, and G-Strings universe. I don't know what he calls his universe. Lethal Ladies, I think.
Isn't it like models and none of them can act?
Yes. It's Agents of Lethal universe. That's what it's called.
But is this the one with the cancer-ridden snake?
Yes, and the rocket launcher and the blow-up doll. And yes. Yes. I sent you this scene and said, we gotta see this fucking movie. And now we're gonna watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Because Hard Ticket to Hawaii, man. It's like a goddamn classic. And then we gotta do Malibu Express and Picasso Trigger and Hard Hunted. Yes. Do or Die, Fit to Kill, and we just gotta do all these eventually. But I mean, Guns and Savage Beach and Return to Savage Beach are not really high on my list. Those are way at the bottom. Also, Enemy Gold's pretty bad. Oh, Enemy Gold takes place in the lethal thing because while on suspension from their jobs as government operatives. That's great. So yeah, we'll be watching the first of, eventually we'll see all these goddamn movies, 12 Andy Sidaris films. With Hard Ticket to Hawaii from 1987. Starring Donna Spear, Hope Marie Carlton, and Ron Moss.
Well, I hate to disappoint you.
What?
It's Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze in a racing movie?
Yeah.
What movie is that?
Grandview, USA.
Never seen it. Huh.
It's she runs a local demolition derby.
Oh, whoa. I'm totally sold. That's it. I don't even hear. That's it. I'm sold. There's a movie. It's got demolition derby. I'm sold.
But yeah, it's Patrick Swayze, not Kurt Russell. But a young Patrick Swayze.
The Sways, man. The Sways was the man.
From 84.
We've gotten more viewers for this end ramble than we have for the rest of the episode.
Man, we rambled a lot anyways.
You have a lot to cut out, sir. Or you'll leave it in. Bwahaha.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze. Anyway, we gotta do Roadhouse at some point.
Let's watch Ghost.
Oh, God. I've seen Ghost so many times in my life. It's terrible.
It's too popular, though.
If I never see Ghost again, I'd be happy. My cousin, we used to like pick movies every weekend, every other day or whatever, every weekend. I don't remember, but cousin always chose Ghost.
Every time.
Every time she was obsessed with Ghost, dude.
Before he died, he was in it was like Indiana Jones knockoff, wasn't it?
Oh God, we'll have to see a bunch of those. Also, anything with Nick Cage counts, so we should totally do National Treasure at some point. Plus, they got shat on unfairly. Anyway. Alright, thanks for joining us for another crazy episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Keep your eyes peeled for awesome movies and hit us up when you find them. Yeah, I don't have an outro still. I'm sorry. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace.